What if the most alien creatures in the universe aren't in space, but right here on Earth, miles below your feet? We're journeying into a world of total darkness, where the rules of life, aging, and reality are broken daily. The things we found there are so bizarre, they will make you question everything. You won't want to swim in the ocean after this. The fish with the transparent head. Some creatures see the world differently. But what about a fish that sees through its own transparent forehead, its eyes living green orbs housed entirely inside its skull? This isn't fiction. It is a real animal, swimming in the deep, dark parts of our planet, and it represents one of the most bizarre evolutionary solutions ever discovered. Far below the Pacific's sunlit surface, between 2,000 and 2,600 feet down, lies the twilight zone. It is a world of crushing pressure and eternal dusk, where the last sunlight fades into a cold, inky blackness. Life here is a constant battle in near-total darkness. To survive, its inhabitants have developed abilities that border on the supernatural. But none are stranger than the barrel-eye fish, Macropinna microstoma. At first glance, it looks almost ordinary, with a small mouth and a dark, torpedo-shaped body. But then you see its head, and the rules of anatomy seem to dissolve. The entire top of the barrel-eye's head is a transparent, fluid-filled dome, like the cockpit of a submersible. It is a living window, and what's inside is even stranger. For decades, what appeared to be its eyes, two small indentations above its mouth, were a source of confusion. Those are not eyes. They are its olfactory organs, its nostrils. The real eyes are inside the transparent shield, two beautiful, vibrant green barrel-shaped lenses. Normally, they are fixed pointing straight up, toward the faint memory of the Sunday. For years, scientists were stumped. How could a fish survive with eyes that only looked one way? The answer is a lesson in deep-sea strategy. The barrel eye hovers motionless in the water, using its large, flat fins for stability. Its upward-gazing eyes are like twin telescopes scanning the dim water above, sensitive enough to catch the faintest silhouettes of prey drifting far overhead. It hunts using shadows cast by a sun it can never feel. But this created an even bigger mystery. If its eyes are fixed looking up, how does it see what it's eating? For over 50 years, the puzzle was unsolved. Then, in 2009, researchers with the Monterey Bay Aquarium Research Institute captured high-definition footage of the fish in its habitat. What they saw changed everything. As the barrel eye spotted a meal, it shifted its body from a hover to a horizontal position, and its spectacular green eyes rotated. They swiveled forward within the dome, allowing the fish to look straight ahead, locking onto its target. It was a perfect, seamless transition from detection to attack. The transparent shield, a mystery for so long, suddenly made sense. It protects its incredibly sensitive, rotating eyes from the stinging cells of the jellyfish it preys upon. The barrel eye is a marvel of biological engineering, an animal that evolved its own observatory to hunt in the dark. It's a solution so elegant, it seems alien. But it begs the question, if this is what evolved to see in the dark, what evolved to make sure it is never seen at all? The vampire squid from hell is not a vampire, a squid, or an octopus. It lives in a world with almost no oxygen. When threatened, it doesn't flee. It turns itself inside out, revealing a bristling cloak of fleshy spines in a final, desperate act of defiance. Deep in the ocean's oxygen minimum zone, the rules of survival change. Here, from 2,000 to 3,000 feet, the water is cold, the darkness is absolute, and oxygen is too scarce for most complex life. Yet it is here that scientists find one of the planet's most misunderstood creatures. Its scientific name, Vampiroteuthis infernalis, translates to the vampire squid from hell. It is a living fossil, the last survivor of its ancient order, and seems designed by a horror novelist. The vampire squid is small, growing to only about 1 foot. Its body is gelatinous, colored a velvety black or pale reddish-brown, and its eyes are a haunting red or blue, proportionally the largest of any animal on Earth. It has 8 arms connected by a webbing of skin, creating a cloak. If it needs to move quickly, it contracts this web into a streamlined shape and jets through the water. But the underside of this cloak gives the animal its infernal reputation. The arms are lined not with suckers, but with rows of soft fleshy spines called cirri. This feature is so unique, the animal is in a taxonomic class all its own. For a creature with such a fearsome name, its most stunning ability is defense, not aggression. When a predator approaches, the vampire squid puts on a light show. It's covered in light-producing organs called photophores that it can flash to disorient an attacker. The tips of its arms glow with a brilliant blue light, which it can pulse and wave to create a confusing target. If that fails, it escalates. It can eject a thick, sticky cloud of bioluminescent mucus, a glowing net that can entangle a predator for minutes while the squid vanishes. This glowing ink is metabolically expensive and used only as a last resort. Its ultimate defense, however, is what truly sets it apart. If cornered, the vampire squid performs the pineapple posture. It pulls its webbed arms up and over its body, flipping the entire cloak inside out. This envelops its head and mantle, and what was a soft, dark cloak becomes a bristling ball of harmless but terrifying-looking, fleshy spines. It makes itself look bigger, spiker, and inedible. For years, scientists assumed this demonic-looking animal must be a fearsome predator. The truth is far more bizarre. Researchers found its weak muscles and slow metabolism made it an unlikely hunter. After analyzing stomach contents, they found no evidence of predation. Instead, they found marine snow, a mix of mucus, crustacean parts, and other detritus that drifts down from above. The vampire squid from hell is not a hunter. It is a gentle, passive garbage collector of the abyss, using 2 long filaments to catch its falling meals. It wears the costume of a monster, but is a scavenger. It makes you wonder if this is the harmless one. What does a real predator in this oxygen-starved world look like? The living fossil with a slingshot jaw. In the deep, there is a shark that looks more alien than fish. Its skin is pink and flabby, its eyes are tiny black beads, and its jaw lunges from its face like a creature from a nightmare. This is not a relic. It is a living animal, a phantom of the abyss reminding us how little we know about the shadows in our world. Say shark, and the mind conjures images of sleek, powerful predators. The goblin shark defies those expectations. Discovered by Japanese fishermen in 1898, it was so strange it was immediately recognized as a living fossil, the sole survivor of a family tree, stretching back 125 million years. To look at it is to look back in time. It swims at depths over 4,000 feet, in a world of immense pressure and cold, where its bizarre adaptations give it a crucial edge. The goblin shark's appearance is profoundly unsettling. Its body is soft and hangs loosely, its skin a pale pinkish grey from blood vessels showing through translucent flesh. Its movements are slow and languid, far from the explosive speed of its shallow water relatives. It is a creature built for ambush, not the chase, an idling spectre that conserves energy in the crushing deep. Its long, flattened snout is covered with organs called ampullae of Lorenzini, which detect the faint electrical fields produced by nearby fish, crabs, and squid. It doesn't need to see its prey, it feels their presence. But here is where it goes from unsettling to nightmarish: its jaw. Normally, the shark's mouth is held flush against its head. When prey is in range, the goblin shark does something that breaks anatomical rules. In a fraction of a second, its entire jaw apparatus, both upper and lower, catapults forward, extending from its face in a grotesque, rapid unhinging. This is possible because the ligaments connecting the jaw to the skull are extraordinarily elastic, like a biological slingshot. The shark pulls its jaw back, builds tension, and releases it in a lightning-fast strike. Its mouth, filled with long needle-like teeth, is perfect for ensnaring soft-bodied prey. The movement is so violent the shark's head recoils from the force. It is a feeding mechanism so extreme it appears nowhere else in the animal kingdom. Once the meal is secured, the jaws retract and the shark returns to its ghostly state, drifting through the darkness. It's a living fossil that shouldn't exist, hunting with a weapon from another age. What other prehistoric nightmares are silently patrolling the abyss unknown to us? The jellyfish that cannot die. There is a creature in the ocean that has discovered the fountain of youth. When it gets old or injured, it does not perish. It simply travels back in time and starts its life over, achieving a biological immortality that defies the laws of nature. In warm ocean currents drifts a tiny, unassuming animal, Turritopsis dornii. No bigger than a pinky nail, it looks like countless other small jellyfish, a translucent bell with delicate tentacles. Most would swim past it without a second glance. Yet this creature possesses a biological superpower that has stunned scientists and may hold the key to one of humanity's oldest quests. It has broken the most unbreakable rule of existence, the one-way street of aging. For nearly every animal, the life cycle is a straight line. An organism is born, matures, reproduces, and eventually its body wears out and its life ends. This was thought to be a universal truth. But Turritopsis dohrnii plays by different rules. When it reaches the end of its adult stage, or faces extreme stress from injury or starvation, it can do the impossible through a process called transdifferentiation. In simple terms, the jellyfish performs a biological reset. Its adult cells, specialized for specific tasks, transform. A muscle cell can become a nerve cell. A skin cell can become an egg. The entire animal reverts to its earliest stage of life, a small formless cyst. This cyst settles on the seafloor and grows into a polyp colony, which looks like a small plant. From this youthful stage, new, genetically identical jellyfish bud off, and the life cycle begins anew. It is the biological equivalent of a butterfly, when facing death, transforming back into a caterpillar. This cycle is not a one-time event. Scientists believe the immortal jellyfish can repeat this process indefinitely. Barring predation or disease, it has no natural lifespan. It is not indestructible, it can be eaten, but it is immune to the decay of old age. This should be impossible, but for this creature, it's business as usual. It holds the secret to cellular regeneration, a process that forces us to reconsider what it means to grow old. The discovery has opened new fields of research in cellular biology and genetics. Scientists are studying the genes and proteins that allow Turritopsis dohrnii to reprogram its cells so perfectly. It holds the secret to endless regeneration. But if a life form can achieve immortality, removing itself from the natural cycle, does it ever stop multiplying? The worm that eats with acid roots. When a whale dies and its body sinks to the ocean bottom, it becomes a feast. Not for sharks, but for an army of bizarre mouthless worms that dissolve the skeleton with acid and devour it from the inside out, creating a final, flourishing ecosystem. Thousands of feet below the surface, on the silent seafloor, a whale fall is a monumental event. This sudden bounty of nutrients can support a complex community for decades. Scavengers strip the soft tissue in months, but the real prize is the skeleton, a massive store of lipids locked in the bone. For a long time, scientists were unsure what could consume this resource. The answer came in 2002, with the discovery of a creature that defied classification, the Osedax worm. Commonly known as the zombie worm, Osedax means bone devourer in Latin, and it is perfectly named. These worms appear as colorful gardens growing on the bone. What we see are the plume's feathery structures waving in the current, absorbing oxygen, but the most remarkable part of the worm is hidden. It has no mouth, stomach, or gut. So how does it eat? Instead, it has a specialized root system that burrows deep into the hard skeleton. This is where the real work begins. The worm's roots secrete powerful acids that dissolve bone minerals, releasing the fats and proteins trapped inside. But the worm itself cannot digest these nutrients. It relies on symbiotic bacteria living inside its roots. These bacteria break down the lipids and, in return for a safe home, share the energy with their host. It is an incredibly efficient form of recycling, a living chemical plant that transforms a whale's skeleton into a thriving colony. But the worm's biology gets even stranger. The vibrant plumes seen on the bone belong exclusively to females. For years, scientists couldn't find any males. The truth was hidden inside the females. Researchers found that each female's body tube was filled with dozens of microscopic males. These males never mature past their larval stage. Their sole purpose is to produce sperm. Each female is a living harem, a self-contained reproductive colony, ensuring the next generation of bone devourers can find the next whale fall. They are a testament to life's ability to find a way. But an ecosystem that consumes the remains of the fallen is a stark reminder that in the deep, nothing, not even bone, is safe. The ghost with 4 velvet arms. Imagine a creature, as wide as a doorway, with 4 thick velvet arms trailing over 30 feet long, moving like a shadow through the abyss. This isn't a monster from a novel, it's a real animal, a phantom of the deep, so rarely seen that each sighting is a global event, a fleeting glimpse of one of the planet's largest and most enigmatic predators. In the perpetual midnight of the bathypelagic zone, thousands of feet down, size is an advantage. Here, in the largest habitat on Earth, roams a creature embodying the scale and mystery of its domain, the giant phantom jelly, or Stygiomedusa gigantea. Its name is a perfect description: Stygian for the river Styx of the underworld, and Medusa for the mythical Gorgon. It is a mythological beast brought to life, a colossal, dark shape that materializes from the blackness and vanishes just as quickly. Discovered in 1899, this animal has remained a mystery for over a century. In that time, it has been officially documented only about 118 times. Think about that. We have seen this animal fewer times than we've sent people into space. Its home is the entire global ocean, yet it is so elusive and its habitat so inaccessible that our knowledge is built on just a handful of precious encounters. The phantom jelly's unique anatomy is mesmerizing. It's one of the largest invertebrates in the deep sea, with a bell-shaped head that can reach over 3 feet wide. But unlike most jellyfish that trail a curtain of stinging tentacles, the phantom jelly has something more substantial. It has 4 incredibly long, thick, ribbon-like appendages called oral arms. These are not tentacles. They are muscular, fleshy structures that can stretch to 33 feet, billowing through the water like dark velvet. Scientists believe these massive arms are key to its hunting strategy. Instead of a sting, the phantom jelly likely uses its arms as a living net. It drifts with its bell pulsing gently, its 4 arms spread wide, ensnaring any fish or crustaceans that blunder into them. Once a meal is trapped against the fleshy surface, the arms contract, pulling prey up to its mouth, hidden beneath the bell. It is a silent, ghostly predation, suited to a world where energy is scarce and stealth is everything. Every encounter with this creature is a gift. Deep-sea ROVs have provided our only glimpses of the animal in its environment. Footage shows it moving with a slow, hypnotic grace, its dark maroon body absorbing the submersible's lights, its arms flowing like a royal robe. It is a colossal, ancient presence we barely understand. With an animal so large and elusive, are we the ones observing it, or is it observing us? The snailfish that thrives on being crushed. The pressure in the Mariana Trench is over 1,000 times that at the surface, enough to crush a military submarine like a soda can. Yet, living calmly at the bottom of this abyss is a tiny pink fish that looks as fragile as gelatin. It is the deepest living fish ever found, and its existence changes our understanding of what life can endure. At a depth of nearly 27,000 feet, the weight of the water above is an unimaginable force, exerting more than 16,000 pounds of pressure on every square inch. In this environment, the molecules of life break down. Proteins unravel, cell membranes liquefy, and life's chemistry ceases to function. This is the Hadal Zone, the deepest frontier on the planet, named after the underworld. For a long time, it was believed no vertebrate could survive here. But in 2014, scientists exploring the trench discovered a creature not just surviving, but thriving. It was the Mariana snailfish. Unlike the armored monstrous fish we imagine in the deep, this animal is the opposite. It is small, scaleless, and almost translucent, its pinkish-white body showing faint outlines of its organs. It has no swim bladder, the pressure would cause it to instantly collapse. Its bones are soft and cartilaginous, not hard and calcified. Its body is a paradox. To withstand the greatest pressure on Earth, it evolved to be soft, pliable, and almost ethereal. Its survival secret lies in its cells. The deep sea's crushing force relentlessly deforms the essential proteins organisms need to live. To counteract this, the snailfish produces enormous quantities of a chemical called trimethylamine N-oxide, or TMAO. This molecule stabilizes its protein structures, acting like a scaffold that holds them together, allowing them to function under pressures that would otherwise destroy them. It is a chemical solution to a physical problem, a microscopic defense against a colossal force. Footage shows these snailfish swimming with surprising grace, probing the seafloor for tiny crustaceans. They are the apex predators of their extreme microscopic world, congregating in small groups to take advantage of food that drifts down from above. They haven't just survived in the trench, they have conquered it. It is a creature of the most delicate tissues, yet tougher than a ton of steel. If life can conquer the most extreme pressure on our planet, what kind of life could thrive under even greater pressures on other worlds? The sound louder than a blue whale. In 1997, deep in the Pacific, US, government hydrophones detected a sound so powerful, it was heard by sensors 3,000 miles apart. It was louder than any known animal on Earth. For years, its origin was a mystery, and it was given a simple, ominous name, the bloop. The sound came from a remote region west of South America's southern tip. It was picked up by the Sound Surveillance System, an array of underwater microphones originally deployed by the US Navy to listen for Soviet submarines. After the Cold War, this network was turned over to scientists, allowing them to eavesdrop on the deep ocean. They heard shifting tectonic plates, whale songs, and underwater volcanoes. But in the summer of '97, they heard something that fit no known category. The bloop was an ultra-low frequency sound, but incredibly powerful. Its acoustic signature was unique, rising in frequency over 1 minute. Its amplitude was sufficient to be detected by sensors across the entire Pacific basin. NOAA analyzed the sound and made a startling comparison. Its profile resembled a living creature, but its volume was several times louder than a blue whale's call, previously thought to be the loudest sound produced by any animal. The implications were staggering. If the bloop was an animal call, it had to have been made by an organism far larger than anything known to science, a creature of colossal proportions. This ignited the public imagination. The sound's origin was located roughly 1,700 miles west of H.P. Lovecraft's fictional sunken city of R'lyeh. For a time, the bloop became legend, a potential real-life sea monster from our deepest nightmares. Scientists, however, remained skeptical. For 15 years, the mystery lingered. Then, as technology improved, a compelling theory emerged. Scientists began deploying hydrophones in Antarctica to study the sounds of melting ice. As massive glaciers fractured, they produced powerful, low-frequency sounds. When scientists compared the acoustic signature of these ice quakes to the 1997 recording, they found a match. The likely culprit behind the bloop was not a monster. It was the planet itself, and in some ways that was more terrifying. The sound was almost certainly a massive iceberg cracking away from an Antarctic glacier. The scale of such an event generated a sound so loud it was mistaken for the voice of an impossible beast. The mystery may be solved, but it leaves an uncomfortable thought. If the sound of our planet breaking apart can be mistaken for a monster, what does a real monster sound like? The real-life kraken. The kraken is real. It doesn't hunt ships, but deep in the frigid waters of the Southern Ocean lives a squid the size of a bus, with eyes the size of dinner plates and razor-sharp, swiveling hooks inside its suckers. This is the colossal squid, the largest and most powerful invertebrate on the planet. For centuries, tales of giant squid have haunted maritime lore, but this is another beast entirely. There is the famous giant squid, a long, slender creature known for its length, but its cousin, the colossal squid, is the heavyweight champion of the deep. While slightly shorter, it is far more massive, with weight estimates over 1,500 pounds. It is a creature of immense bulk and power, built for combat. What truly sets the colossal squid apart is its terrifying arsenal. Its 8 arms and 2 longer feeding tentacles are lined with hundreds of suckers, each with a serrated ring of chitin for gripping. The real difference lies on the wide, club-like ends of its main tentacles. Embedded within the suckers are razor-sharp, 3-pointed hooks that can swivel 360 degrees. These are not for gripping, they are designed to dig in, pivot and tear, ensuring that anything it catches cannot escape. It is the only squid with such a formidable weapon system. Our knowledge of these titans is incredibly limited, pieced together from rare specimens and indirect evidence. For decades, the primary proof of their existence came from the bodies of their rivals, sperm whales. Whalers often reported whales covered in circular scars, some as large as saucers, evidence of titanic deep-sea battles. Many whales also had indigestible, horny beaks in their stomachs, the only part of a squid they can't break down, and some were too large to have come from a giant squid. This was the first clue that something much bigger was down there. The colossal squid lives in the cold, dark waters around Antarctica, at depths over 3,000 feet. The few intact specimens we have are females, thought to be much larger than males. They were found either floating after death or accidentally brought up by fishing trawlers. In 2007, a fishing vessel in the Ross Sea caught a living colossal squid, an animal over 30 feet long. It was carefully brought to the surface and studied, giving scientists their best look yet at this deep-sea gladiator. They discovered it has the largest eyes of any animal, nearly a foot in diameter. These enormous eyes are adapted to see in the dark, allowing it to spot the faint bioluminescence of its prey, or perhaps the dark silhouette of an approaching sperm whale. We have never seen an adult alive in its habitat. We only see the scars they leave on whales, which means the true titans of the deep are still down there, fighting battles we can only imagine. The forest without a sun. For centuries, we believed all life on Earth ultimately depended on the sunday. Then, in 1977, we found a place where the sun has never reached and discovered an entire ecosystem thriving in total darkness, breathing poison, and feeding on heat from the planet's core. This discovery didn't just add a chapter to biology, it tore up the book. 2.5 kilometers below the Pacific surface, near the Galapagos Rift, the submersible Alvin was exploring the seafloor. The mission was to investigate strange temperature anomalies. What the scientists found was a landscape unlike anything imagined. From the volcanic rock rose towering, chimney-like structures spewing a dense, black fluid. This fluid was superheated to over 700 degrees Fahrenheit and thick with toxic chemicals like hydrogen sulfide. These were hydrothermal vents, or black smokers. But the most shocking discovery wasn't the vents, it was what surrounded them. In a world of absolute darkness, crushing pressure, and poison water, there was life. Not just microscopic life, but a dense, thriving forest of bizarre and giant creatures. There were fields of huge white clams, ghostly pale crabs, and vast colonies of giant tube worms. These worms stood up to 8 feet tall, their white chitinous tubes anchored to the volcanic rock, their brilliant red plumes waving in the chemical-rich currents. This ecosystem broke all known rules. The foundation of life on Earth was photosynthesis. Here, there was no sunlight. The foundation of this new world was chemosynthesis. The energy source was the chemical cocktail pouring from the Earth's crust. Specialized bacteria had evolved to metabolize hydrogen sulfide, a substance highly toxic to most life, and use it to create organic matter. The giant tube worms were the ultimate expression of this strange biology. They have no mouth or gut. Instead, their bodies are packed with these bacteria, which create their food in a perfect symbiotic relationship. So we've looked at life that defies finality, creatures that eat bone with acid, and entire ecosystems powered by the planet's core. These aren't just fascinating animals, they are evidence. Evidence our planet is a far stranger, more alien, and perhaps more dangerous place than we comprehend. The real question isn't what else is down there. The real question is, after seeing all this, do you still believe we are the masters of this world? Or are we just living on the surface of a planet whose true nature we have yet to discover? If you enjoyed this journey into the abyss, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more deep dives into our planet's greatest mysteries. There's a whole world of unseen wonders and nightmares left to explore, and you won't want to miss what we uncover next.